All right, chances are if you own a home, or maybe you'd like to own a home, you probably have a lot of real estate questions. Today it's our Ask Big Daddy segment. Bryan Garrity is taking some of your questions this morning. Bryan, thank you so much for coming in. We certainly do appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You know, I know with real estate, especially here in Southern California, the trends can change by the month. What are you seeing as we head into summer right now?
We're seeing a lot of activity, so it's very much a buyer's market. And if you're out there and you've got the capacity to buy, I keep saying it, it's like now's the time. Inventory is low, so it's going to start switching back to a seller's market here anytime. So if you're a buyer, you got the capacity to buy, you should be jumping on that train, regardless if you're buying a traditional sale, a short sale, distressed property. Now's a really good time for that.
Any reason as to why the inventories are low right now? I keep hearing that.
Well, there's lots of different reasons. You've got people that have equity in their house. They're afraid to sell. They want to hold on. They're going to hold on for that big nugget that's going to happen. You're going to be holding on for a while. I mean, we're going to have appreciation, but the appreciation is going to go back to traditional appreciation.
You don't expect a spike.
No, yeah, we're like every 6 months you were seeing like 20, 25%. Yeah. That's not happening. But you do have that old school mentality of sellers that are just totally hang on to it. Some people believe the banks have what's called a shadow inventory. They're holding on to their foreclosures and they're not releasing them. In other states, that might be true. In California, look, if the banks are taking the properties back, they're putting them back on the market. They're not holding them out.
We always hear about these wave of foreclosures. It's coming. We've heard that for years.
For years. So yeah. I think that's a lot of media hype. The banks, when they take the houses back, I can almost guarantee you they're back on the market within another month or two.
It does no one any good to flood the market with foreclosures.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. They did that back in the 90s, like in Riverside County, and it just killed it. So I think they learned from that. But there's probably some states where that's happening. It's not happening or impacting us on our microeconomy here in San Diego. People don't have to worry about that stuff.
Okay, that's good to know because we hear that from time to time.
Always.
Hey, let's get to some of our questions this morning. We have Sonia from Del Mar. She says, I received a denial of a loan modification from my lender. They now say I have limited options to avoid foreclosure. I want to keep my house. What can I do? Sonia represents a whole bunch of people here in San Diego.
She does. And here's the problem. She's received a denial on her loan modification. Key, you received a denial. So the options are, number one, all those monies that are in arrears, your past due amount, you can bring it current and you can start over with the payments that you have that you were missing. Or you're going to have to look at foreclosure alternatives, and that could be a short sale, a deed in lieu. A deed in lieu is if you don't have a second lien on the property, you can work with the bank to give the keys back, and they work with you on it. It's much less harsh than a foreclosure. In my opinion, they're not easy to do because it's the consumer on their own having to deal with the bank to do it. So you don't have anyone representing you to navigate through that process. Or you go straight foreclosure. But if you're denied for a loan modification and you don't have the money to bring your house current, I mean, you're left with those options.
So
That's
you're looking at having to probably leave your home,
yes.
but you want to do it the neatest way possible.
Which is probably a short sale. I mean, it's like, one day we're going to be on here and say, remember when?
Yeah.
But we're just not there right now. So a short sale is probably, in her situation, she should probably really get hopping and figure out what she's going to do.
Okay.
Short sale would be the best.
I don't want to run out of time before we take this question from Manny and Devorah of Rancho Santa Fe. They say, we signed a listing agreement with an agent who led us to believe that our house was worth $500,000 more than we can realistically get. We're not able to close this transaction without bringing substantial monies into escrow. We want to fire our agent. Can we do that? And what about the contract we're in?
It's a very complicated question. Okay, so number one, the agent went and they bought the listing. So before you sign a contract with an agent, make sure that they've done their due diligence. Have them show you what is sold in the recently in the market, so that you're not overlisting your house. Because somebody will say, "Hey Heather, I can sell your house for $1 million," when it's really worth $700, and the other agents are telling you $700. Who are you going to go with? The guy that's selling you $1 million.
Sure,
so, I mean, come on.
It's easy to fall into that web.
But once you've signed the contract, the listing agreement is an employment agreement. It has far-reaching consequences. That listing agreement has a specific period of time that you're engaged with that real estate agent. Once it expires, you're out of contract. You don't have to worry about it. But these people have a problem because you've now entered into a contract for more than less, your house is worth less than what technically they'd have to bring in the difference. So that question would have to be a lot deeper in terms of exploring it, because if they signed a contract, if the agent didn't protect them in terms of like the short sale protection, they've got a problem. They could technically be owing $500,000
Sure, yeah,
to close
they
escrow.
may be in a bit of a mess here, so certainly
A
worth
big mess,
maybe
yeah.
contacting a real estate attorney to find out what
Definitely.
they can do here. Bryan Garrity, thank you so much for coming in. We
thank
certainly
you.
do appreciate your time. If people have questions for you, where can they reach you?
You can call 619-399-3300 or
There
go through our website, bryangarrity.com.
Bryan, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
your time.
Take care.
For more information, go to our website, san diego6.com, and click on San Diego Living.